I've actually got to hit this. 99.1 KFMG, at least for now. We were talking about that as well off microphone. The summer of change coming for KFMG. We have to find a new home. We've already found a new frequency. We're just waiting for the word on that one to go, hey, you got to vacate. We're only dropping a digit or so, though. It's from 99.1 down to 98.9 when we do, just so you've got a little bit of prep there, and we'll give you as much warning as we can. We are recording this. You did a good job in reminding me there, Kristian. I appreciate that. Joining us right now, Kristian Day. He's been a guest of ours before, and glad to welcome him back, especially for this situation. The Interrobang Film Festival, which is part of the Arts Festival coming up this weekend. Now, again, we were talking off microphone, and I said, so what is this, like the second, third year for this? Go ahead. Tell them what you told me.
It is the 8th year for the Interrobang Film Festival. I know. Some people are still asking me, where is it? When does it happen? It's like it happens the same weekend as Arts Festival because it's part of the Arts Festival.
Exactly. Yeah, and we were talking. Film is art, art is film, and you get to. How many people do you have participating in this thing? Let's talk about the filmmakers themselves. It looks like a huge lineup. I mean, 3 full days, and I mean full days of films and screenings and workshops and things like that. How many people do you have coming in?
Well, we have 50 plus films, and we have about 20 to 30 of those filmmakers coming in for Q&As, the Midwest Filmmakers Panel. This year I did something very different. I reached out to film commissioners around the world and said, I'm really trying to push foreign films here.
Right.
Please, I will give you each 3 waivers. Please send me your best films. And we got some amazing movies, including Kosovo's submission to the Academy Awards this year.
Wow.
We also got some really good U.S. films, including Wildlike, which features one of the actors from Mad Men. And and he was I think it was Bruce Greenwood. He played Christopher Pike in the new Star Trek movies as well.
I think that's who it is. I'm trying to find it in here somewhere, there's so many to look through. It's
so
really
many.
Wow, like Frank Green. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the director, Frank Green.
Okay. I don't.
And we also have some good student films, including we have. A young man out of Fairfield, who I think a lot of you might know, Little Ruckus.
Okay.
He has made his first movie, and it is amazing. It's fun. It's sort of a musical. And we also have some controversial documentaries, including The Syndrome, which deals with a woman who was wrongly accused of shaking her baby, and she was put into prison. And this film, they got her out of prison. So the director for that, Meryl Green is coming. Did I say that right?
I think so. I'm looking at this other one.
I should have this on the top of my head.
Yeah, we own 50 of them right off the top of your head.
I tell people, like, when I talk to the filmmakers, I talk to them every day.
Yeah.
I tell them, like, look, listen, I have 50 films and 50 plus filmmakers. So some of these are made by multiple people.
Right.
And I cannot 100% keep track of you, but on top of that, we also have made a partnership with the Hardaker Film Festival. If you remember the Hardaker Film Festival out of Tipton, Iowa.
Tipton, yeah.
It's the oldest film festival in the state of Iowa, and this is their first year. They're not having a festival because they're trying to save their movie theater. It's a single screen little small town.
I know the Tipton Theater. I lived in Muscatine for a while, and one of my best friends was from Tipton. So
it's a great little place, but this is their first year. They're not having a film festival, so I invited Will Valley to come up and do a best of shorts screening to keep the spirit of Hardaker alive, because that was the first film festival when I moved back to Iowa in 2007. That was the very first film festival I went to, and I saw American Grindhouse, which was a great documentary.
Wow, okay,
great documentary about the old exploitation and grindhouse films of the 60s and 70s.
Right,
in the middle of nowhere. This festival is taking place. So
I mean, it's tough enough to get them to show something like that over at the Varsity, even. Yeah. So and they're showing it in Tipton.
In Tipton, yeah. So Will's coming up to do a best of shorts program. We have Marty Nepper from Sioux City and Morningside College, who's doing a lecture on the Book of Iowa films. Marty worked with me when we were doing the coordinating for the Hollywood and the Heartland exhibit.
Right.
In fact, if you go into the Hollywood and Heartland exhibit, you'll see those interviews with with her when you first walk in, and you'll also see the interview with Bob Fridley. She's in with that mix of videos.
And this is very cool because the history of Iowa film, the history of film in Iowa. I mean, you're talking a couple of names there that have insight and the history themselves. Bob Fridley, I used to work for Bob over at the video store, and Bob and I would have discussions about the old films, the old time films, and him running the theaters and things like that. So, man, to get involved with those guys, great coup.
Yeah, and actually someday I would like to do something with the Fridleys, just because of their history in the film business in Iowa. Maybe next year. There's been talk.
I'd love to get Bob in here with you and sit down and just talk film history some morning.
That would be
yeah, I was going to say we've got a 6-hour span we can fill, and I'm sure with Bob we could do that.
I don't know there'd be any music here. It'd be now the Gary Monte morning talk show,
the Bob Fridley morning talk show. The guy's got more history behind him than both you and I put together. Well, especially you. You're so darn young. This thing, it's a great idea, and the Interrobang. Where did the name come from?
I don't know.
I know.
I'm gonna be really upfront. I have no idea.
Okay.
Whenever I talk to people, Liz Gilman, any other filmmakers, are like, "What is Interrobang?" It's supposed to be an exclamation point and a question mark.
I gotcha. Okay.
Now, and I just learned that like a couple months ago because I just finally inquired. I'm like, "What is it?" I just Googled Interrobang, and I wanted to see what type of social media, what type of web stuff was coming up on search engines. And that was the definition of it. I'm like, well, that's interesting.
Question mark.
I'm glad I know that.
Okay.
But that's been around again, 2007. Different people in place. I will be honest. Like when it first took off, I feel like it was just basically another attraction for the Des Moines Arts Fest.
Right.
And now, it's starting to take off into its own entity because I believe there's a much greater interest in film in Iowa as a whole.
Well, I think besides that, the fact that whatever you guys have done in the past few years, you've taken what they started with and grown this to the size to where it's almost bulging out of the seams that it's trying to fill at this point.
Yeah, and it needs to be that way. I think Des Moines needs to have that type of film festival where there's multiple workshops. We're getting people to come in from all over, and honestly, we've subsidized it enough that it's free to go.
Right,
and we want it to be free.
Well, that in itself, it's one way, especially when you're first starting out. I know it's tough, and this is kind of a blueprint for other people that are thinking about starting things like this. It is kind of tough when you start out, but you want as many people to know about these things as possible, and sometimes that means foregoing making a lot of money or any money at the beginning and just spreading the word. But I think to do so with something like this is a great idea because it has obviously grown and spread.
It has. It's gotten bigger and bigger. I do want to make sure I mention that I am doing the iPhone filmmaking workshop again, which was a huge success 2 years ago, and I am bringing it back. We also have giveaways, including hollow clip lenses, different pieces of gear that you can use your iPhone to make films with. We will also do a what's called a mobile innovation screening, which is films entirely shot on a mobile device.
See, I'm so glad that we have people like you in this town because the iPhone film, you're now seeing commercials about people making films on their iPhone. And I'm sure that now everybody is going, oh, you can do that? You've been doing it for years. You've been on the cutting edge of this thing.
Everyone thought I was crazy when I was doing that show with Taco Apocalypse guy Sam Allen,
Sam.
On TV.
That's great.
And everybody's like, "You're doing that on your iPhone?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna do this. It's not gonna cost." In fact, it was actually a lot of work, but I'm like, I shot it on an iPhone 4S, and now we're at the 6. You see billboards that say "shot on an iPhone 6."
Absolutely.
Now we're at that point where the smartphone can replace most mid-grade cameras in the industry.
The big action camera, the one that's everybody's got attached to their heads.
GoPros,
yeah. I think that's another medium that has come up that to me has just advanced filmmaking and the ability for an individual to become a filmmaker.
You have all these
easily.
tools now. I said the same thing when DSLR cameras came out.
Oh man,
I thought everyone can buy one of these now, but really what it has shown is you have all these tools at your fingertips, but you still need to have the craft and the creative mind to put it together.
Right. Now, this does create one of the conundrums for life. I mean, with the ability for all of these people to have access to this, it does cause kind of a glut in the market of stuff that you have to cull through and find the really good stuff. However, I think that along with that, at least the people that have the good stuff have the ability, the option, the accessibility, and can hopefully get it out there, and maybe by word of mouth they'll be put up, a little bit that you'll be able to find it a little bit easier.
Last year there was a gentleman that brought his young daughter to the iPhone filmmaking workshop, and she wanted to get into filmmaking, but he did not. He was like, I don't want to spend the money on all this equipment. Well, she saw what we could do with your phones, and he was like, okay, I can buy her these little lens attachments and these little things,
right,
and she can figure it out. I don't need to worry about it. And I've been kind of following her on Instagram, and I've watched her like grow creatively with this stuff, and it's great to see that. It is amazing. And also, we have the Midwest Filmmakers Panel, where we have all these filmmakers from the Midwest that are coming in for their films are going to get together. We're going to have a big panel discussion about filmmaking in the Midwest, working in this region. How is it different than working in LA or New York? What are your resources? It's going to be great. All these guys are amazing talents in their own, but they all come from different backgrounds. So it's going to be very exciting to throw them all together and see what happens.
Again, it's a full weekend. I mean, if you are into film and want to even don't care about painting, sculpture, etc., there is enough that you can fill your entire weekend with just this Interrobang festival. And Kristian, again, thank you so much for getting involved with this and bringing it to the forefront. Like I said, you've been cutting edge on this, and I think it's in the hands of somebody who can, obviously has, developed this thing into a huge separate entity, actually, almost. So cool.
We're going to continue it. I mean, it's been highly successful. We've had great attendance, and we want it to get bigger and bigger.
And with the free price tag on the attendance, it's pretty easy to get a crowd. Again, this is happening during in conjunction with the Arts Festival all the way through the weekend, the 26th, 27th, and 28th. You can find out information. Go to you can go to Des Moines Arts Festival. There's a connection there. You can also go to Interrobang Film Festival. That's its own webpage, and that runs through schedules and things like that. Any other place that they might be able to? We do have a Facebook page, which is weird because I'm not on Facebook, but my assistant Michelle Slauson has been running that for us. And actually, folks, if you see anybody posting, we have all those filmmakers are doing a big social media push this week. So if any of you guys see them posting their films or see them tag, please